Hello Porsche Files, welcome to BreitWerks. What we are looking at here is a 2016-2017 Macan GTS, and we just finished a radar detector install. So part of the reason that we got this truck is because we want to try all these little things out and figure out how to do things best. So it's an Escort. All you Valentine fans, I get it, but this one's an Escort. So the only thing that didn't come in the box, because I got it off Amazon and Amazon said, hey, you got to buy all this stuff with it. So I clicked OK, and they had a different mount. So the mount actually comes in the box. This is the 360 something, but the cord is the cord that they sold. Maybe next time I would go with one of those make a fuse or whatever those things are called. But remember, the Escort uses a telephone cable connection, an old like pot style line, so it's very specific to the Escort, and I think if Bell was even still around. But all we did here was I ran the cable through the mount, so you have to take the mount apart to do that. It just hides it a little bit better. Nothing, you don't have to do that, but you can see that it would kind of be this big droopy line if you didn't do something like that. So I ran the cable through the mount, took it apart, and then just tucked it. And up here, we went driver's side, so we're all the way over here. But there's a little, about an 1/8 inch gap where it just kind of slides in nicely. I chose not to do the overhead deal, because hardwiring, because you just never know the sensitivity of the microcontroller that's on the other end of some of these power wires. So we just made it its own circuit, and completely reversible, probably 5 minutes or less, without having to hack into anything up here. People do it that way, good for them, but that's not how we did it. So the wire just kind of tucks tight up in there, and then all through here, and it's all just friction fit, right? There's nothing, we didn't put any tape or anything. Now, I'm sure when she's out in the field going over bumps and stuff, we'll figure out how well it works. We might have to put some gummy fledge or something under there. But we snaked it across here, and if you're very, very gentle, you can get this guy to kind of come back, start from the outside, and then you can take the wire on the, make the transition right underneath this guy. And I did not want to take this guy off or do anything crazy, because when you do have an airbag under there, you know, I didn't want to impact that whatsoever. I see just a touch of wire. I'm going to use our tuck tool, get it under there. No one will ever notice. These tuck tools come in very, very handy, and now you'll never ever see it again. So from there, it came down to the A-pillar. And if you just use your thumb and you peel back this rubber seal, you'll see that the way that the A-pillar cover ends, there's plenty of room in there, right? So you just slowly work your way down, pushing your wire in. And then when you get down to here, you got to make the transition into the dashboard, right? So instead of coming across here and having some little wire sticking out, came all the way down here, because this guy, with just some finger pressure, this plastic piece here will actually pop out. So you can see we went right behind this plastic piece. So the transition comes across. This is super tight right here. So we ended up going from the bottom. Transition is wire, 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 and then it comes back out under here. Now, we chose to go to that mounting bolt as a ground lug. When I ohmed it out, it was almost perfect ground. The challenge here is that the kit you buy has a ring terminal for an M6 bolt. This is an M8, so I had to modify the ring terminal a little bit, make it a little bigger, so it would slide over that guy. Not a huge deal, but if you think you're just going in there and you're gonna do all this, you could have, I mean, it would have been just as fast to snip the wire and put a number 8 ring terminal on there, but instead I just used a little drill bit and hogged it out a little bit. Now, I have no idea what these pink plastic things are, these purple things. I mean, for 8 million years, well, 200 years or 100 years, fuses have stayed in their boxes without any problem. So Porsche decided to put these little caps on there. They are a little bear to get out, but you just pull on them and they come out. Went through all of the open spots. I don't think these are terminated in the back. I think it's just plastic. There's nothing in there. But what I found is over here on this left-hand side, 1, 2, 3, the fourth slot up between the two fives on this particular configuration car was not used. And I also found that that is switched power. So when the car is off, the radar detector is off. What I don't know, and it quite frankly doesn't matter to me because I can't stand the auto stop, auto start, so I always have that turned off. I don't know if this guy is going to cycle power on the auto start, auto stop. Starters are too hard to change, and yeah, no, not an auto start, auto stop fan. I get it. They had to pass some emission stuff, but we're not using that function on this vehicle. So we went in here, and the particular kit that Amazon recommended has just a spade terminal, and that spade terminal fits perfectly into the slots. The left-hand side of the slots are powered. The right-hand side of the slots are where the fuse would go to. In this particular case, we're grabbing hot power. We don't have a fuse in there. We're straight wired, but this wire comes fused. So there's a little 5-amp fuse in there. So we are fused. We're just not fused at the fuse box. Those make a circuit things, they would work, but I'm not sure they would fit behind this fancy clip. So that's why I chose to just go a little bit more old-fashioned. And I guess for those of you that are trying to figure out how did we get in here, this is the trim piece, right? So this trim piece, you just got to be very gentle about working it off. You have a couple of clips all the way around the thing, but if you use a nice little trim tool and you're gentle, you won't rip or scuff your leather, and then you'll be perfectly good to go. But that is how we hardwired a detector. And I'm sure some of you are sitting there going, well, did it actually work? Hell yeah, it worked. Let's see. Look at that. Escort Max comes right on. Everything's good to go. And if you look from the outside, you're seeing glare, but you can't see the wire. So it's a nice, tidy little install. Never to be thought about again. And yeah, good to go. The only time you'd have to change this is if you went to a Valentine, because it uses a different power cable, but certainly not hard. Average DIY person, once you get past the trepidation of popping this panel off, this shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes. All right, good luck. Thanks for watching. Definitely get yourself a voltmeter so you can check all these things for yourself. Again, we went fourth fuse up all the way on the front. Your car may have an option or an accessory where that one's not open, so you kind of have to look elsewhere. Biggest kicker is just make sure you find one that's when the car is not powered, right? So if I turn the car off, the radar detector goes off. Otherwise, you'll have to hit the power button every time. Just a royal pain in the butt. All right, if you got any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching. Check us out at BreitWerks.com.